Hearing about the new movie coming out about James Brown, get on up. My next guest will tell you that's not the real story about James Brown. The real story, it is in his book called My Father the Godfather. This is James Brown's son, Daryl. And by the way, the book's doing well, yes?
Oh man, it's #1 in ethnic with Amazon. I mean, and thanks to Fox. Fox has been doing great. I mean, people have been saying they've been seeing me all over the place. So I really tip my hat off to Fox.
Well, you say in your book that this is stories that no one's ever heard. I'll tell you this. Your father was a weird guy in life. He was a weird guy in death. And he continues to be weird to this day.
Well, that's what made him so great.
It's true.
That's what made him so great. You know,
Did he
you got to
really
be complex.
want to be buried with a cell phone and a video camera so that you guys would know when he woke up?
I heard that one time. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny.
But he really thought that.
But he really thought that. You know, he really thought that, you know, and so now you see where Michael Jackson get his stuff from, because him and Michael talk twice a week. He loved my father. He adopted my father. He sat for
hours at the end, right? When your father was embalmed.
Michael Jackson came to the funeral home, and he called us first, and he said, "Can I go over there?" I said, "Man, go," you know. And he was combing my father's hair. He wanted to know what kind of embalming fluid, how did they do it, what did they use, and that's why he had the gold casket too, also.
With $30,000 casket, which is
$30,000,
ironic considering the fact that bills, I think, are still unpaid from that funeral. Like people still, that was such a show that was put on, but nobody knew where the money was coming from, and then there was so many legal things going on around your father's estate.
The funeral's been paid for. I mean, that's just
so that's done.
Yeah, that's all done. But that was a while. It took a while. It took longer than normal than you think because of the money that he's made.
You have a unique perspective because you played with your father. You toured with him for years.
8 years.
You got your guitar right behind
lead guitar, play for. And that was strange to me because I was a drummer for 30 years, and I just jammed it with my dad one night, and he looked at me. He said, "You're gonna be my third guitar player, man. You play rhythm guitar like I never heard anybody play it like that." And he said, "Probably because you're a drummer." So I wanted to gig as a drummer, and I was 40 years old.
You had been in the music business in New York, and you played with some pretty big guys. Curtis Blow, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Starsky Love Bug, Soho Productions.
You had done something on your own, which your father must have respected.
Well, he did, but still, that's the master. You never get bigger than the master. So, I had deeply respect. I was a big fan. Not only that, because I always tell people I had James Joseph Brown, that was my dad. But James Brown, that was my boss, and I was a big fan of his.
When you watch some of these clips, do you just laugh? Do you smile? Do you go, what was he wearing that night? I mean...
I tell you, man, James Brown ran his show from top to bottom. And I mean from the shoes that we wore, the uniforms that he designed everything, including himself. Now, if I put it on, I look crazy, but if he puts it on, it's his.
Is there a song that you hear and you go, yep, that's still the one? If my father only recorded one song, that's the one. Was it I Feel Good? I mean, I Got You rather. What's the one that's your song?
Talking Loud and Saying Nothing.
Because?
Because that's what we do a lot of that. And I just like the music. The music was all way ahead of its time.
I'm glad you didn't say Sex Machine. No, I don't want to picture that. Right?
But I mean, I tell it in the book. I'll tell about Sex Machine because see, that's not what it was meant to be.
Right.
He was just trying to get people to get up and dance like a sex machine. Because if you put the two together, it's a stimulant. So that's all he was doing. But what can I say?
I asked you before. I said, "Are you going to go to the theaters Friday to see the movie?" And you said, "No. Why not?"
Well, because I don't have time. I don't have time. I wish I could, but I don't have time. I'm out here promoting this book, and I want people to buy the book.
Read the real story.
Read the real story, man.
Good opportunity for you tonight if you're in Central Massachusetts. You're going to be in Amherst tonight. Amherst books, yes. I think it's 7 o'clock, right?
7 o'clock.
People can get you. You'll sign the book, tell a couple of stories.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And I want to tell people, if you go in your bookstores and you want to buy this book, you can order it. If they don't have it, tell them to stock the book. You want to read Inside the Godfather, My Father the Godfather.
My Father the Godfather.
Yes.
Daryl Brown is the guy. It is a pleasure talking to you.
Man.
It is a pleasure meeting you. Continued success.
Yeah.
You ever put on one of the old capes just because?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that.
That's what I thought.
He might come back and get me.
Yes, he might. Yes, he might. He told you he would, so he might indeed. Yeah.